pissing off the neighbors. Whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, everything ain't pretty, but it's love though. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hello. Good morning. What's up, y'all? What is going on? Welcome to Spike Kool-Aid for Monday, January 16th, 2023. I will be making a Detroit Lions Syndicate video today. I just had to take a few days off, man. Had to kind of get myself together. Coming off a very testy season. It's a lot of work that we put in during the season to give you Lions content and thing like that. And I just had to take a little bit of a break, but we are back, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What's up, NFL Kid? Says, happy Martin Luther King Day. Yeah, my son starts tomorrow, his second semester. And I was like, why is it not today? And I feel bad because I forgot it was MLK Day. What's up, Vash? What's going on? Orlando. What's up, Nick? What is going on? All right, so we're gonna start today off with a segment that I think did pretty well the other day. We're going to start it off today. We're going to get straight into it, man. Straight into it. So we're going to start this show, this Monday show, 1 week after the season ended for the Detroit Lions. But we're going to start the show on the wild card weekend. We're going to talk about some stuff that happened real quick. Going to start the show with this because I really want to get this segment out, and I don't want to forget about it. But a lot of stuff happened over the weekend. If you didn't hear, the San Francisco 49ers are apparently interested in Thomas Brady. Now, this information came out, ironically, Saturday, just moments before the kickoff with the San Francisco 49ers. Now, that leads me to believe that the Niners will not win the Super Bowl. They might make it, but they will not win the Super Bowl. Came out through Bleacher Report that's going to happen. Then I hear today that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would love to keep Brady for another year. So it's going to be a very interesting offseason when the season is eventually over. But let's talk about some games from the weekend. The Jacksonville Jaguars were victorious. But before that, the Seattle Seahawks, and this is going to go back. I want to save most of this until I start talking about the Detroit Lions, because that's going to be our first segment. The Seattle Seahawks were a no-show. Pretty much the first half was pretty good, and then the 49ers ran amok, and that was the end of that. Seattle is going home. The Jacksonville Jaguars had a huge collapse, but I have some thoughts about that. Was up 27-0. Trevor Lawrence threw 4 interceptions in the first half. 3 of them were in the first quarter. 1 to start the early second, and he is going on as well. Gaddy, yes, we did. we're going to get this segment out the way first so I don't forget about it. So the Jacksonville Jaguars will be moving on with a 1-point victory over the Chargers. A lot of talk as if Staley's going to get fired and Justin Herbert went to back as coach. A lot of talk about Sean Payton. He will coach this year. Where will he coach is the question. If Brandon Staley gets fired, the Chargers will be a very suitable place for him to go. They're already built, just a couple more pieces. They had no Mike Williams, but in no way, no shape, no form, no how should they have given up. Okay, the Jacksonville Jaguars went on a 31-3 run after the Chargers got up 7. So the Jacksonville Jaguars will face the Chiefs, and the New York Giants, we're going to talk about them in a minute. The Miami Dolphins put up a fight against the Buffalo Bills. They were up 17, Buffalo that was, 17-0. Miami mounts a comeback. Kind of cheated at the end there, a 4th-and-1 call that was converted to a 4th down, I believe. First down, I believe it was. A really bad call throughout the NFL, but we're going to talk more about bad calls coming up very soon. And no surprise here. The New York Giants send the Minnesota Vikings home at home. How crazy. Kirk Cousins throws a pass to our Detroit Lions former tight end TJ Hawkinson on a 4th down and 8 that was 5 yards short of the first down marker. He then proceeded to get absolutely roasted on Twitter. Kirk Cousins has never been that guy. And I'm telling you what, you could do a lot worse than Jared Goff. I'm telling you what, they keep giving this man money after guaranteed contract after guaranteed contract, and Kirk Cousins has done nothing in his NFL career except win one playoff game. How crazy is that? That the fraudulent Minnesota Vikings at 13-4 are bounced out by the 6th seed New York Giants, who came to play yesterday. Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones had 71 yards rushing. They could not stop the run. Justin Jefferson didn't do anything yesterday. And last and certainly not least, the Baltimore Ravens in a game that was ultimately decided by a I don't know why you do this. You're at the 2-yard line. Unless you have go-go gadget arms, you don't jump over the pile and try to score on a stretch-out play from the 2-yard line. That is a goal line situation. When the ball is at the goal line, that's what you do. Lamar Jackson comes out today that Baltimore intends to franchise tag him. Lamar Jackson didn't even travel with the team. My thing is this. If you are a Baltimore Raven, and J.K. Dobbins actually backed up his quarterback and said if Lamar was playing, we would have won. But my thing is this. If you are a Baltimore Raven and Lamar Jackson couldn't even travel with the team, what does that say about his leadership? But they lost yesterday. A 98-yard fumble return is the difference in this game. A 4th and 20 that was almost converted for a touchdown, but it was just out of the hands of the receiver. So the NFL is set. Tonight we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to take the Buccaneers to win that game. I'm going to take the Buccaneers to win that game. Nick says if I'm trading Lamar if I was Baltimore. Well, that's what they're saying, that they could franchise tag him and still trade him. I don't think Lamar plays under a franchise tag. But I saw some very interesting things this wild card weekend. So the teams advancing, the San Francisco 49ers will play the winner of tonight's game. Whoever wins tonight will have to travel into Levi Stadium next week, and they will have to play the San Francisco 49ers. The Jacksonville Jaguars will travel to Arrowhead this coming weekend to face the Kansas City Chiefs. The Buffalo Bills, and this is going to be, in my opinion, the game of the weekend. The Buffalo Bills will be hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. We will have the first meeting between these two since Damar Hamlin in that unfortunate situation. That is going to be this weekend. And the New York Giants have to travel to Philadelphia and take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, so that is it. After today, there were 12 teams that came into this weekend, and right now 5 are going home. After today, that'll be 6, and it'll be 8 remaining. 8 remaining. And one of those will be your Super Bowl champions. So a lot of stuff going around. Tom Brady, will he re-sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or will the 49ers claim him or go after him? So it's going to be a very intriguing offseason, but that is your NFL roundup for Monday, January the 16th, 2022. All right, what's up, y'all? What's up, everybody? Appreciate that for doing that segment. I wanted to get it out the way early so I didn't forget. Detroit Lions forum in the building says, I still think Lions would have given a better game than the Seahawks against the Niners. I believe that as well. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, okay? I'm going to tell you a little bit, and I want to warn you, this segment that I'm about to go into, it might ruffle some feathers. So I want to give you the fair opportunity to get out of the chat. All right? It might ruffle some feathers. Okay, so I am going to be talking very harshly about the NFL and things that I think are happening. So let's get this thing started. The NFL comes out, ironically, almost 1 week later after the Detroit Lions season ended with a victory in Green Bay. They come out on Friday or Saturday, and they tell the world that the Seahawks-Rams game was very poorly officiated. Now, I told you guys this. I told you this after I watched the game, that it is my belief that the NFL was not ready for the Detroit Lions. And what I mean, not that we would have gone all the way. Okay, we would have had a gauntlet. We would have had to get past. We would have had to win every game on the road, which is possible. We would have had to beat the 49ers, who are stacked. We would have had to go in and then beat the Philadelphia Eagles, who are stacked. Then, if we made it past those two teams, we have to face up against whoever on the road for the NFC Championship game, right? On way to the Super Bowl. So I'm not saying that the NFL, they weren't ready for us to run the gauntlet. But what they were not ready for is they wanted us to fall back. And I said this after the game. After the Lions game, they wanted us to fall back. Why do I say that? Because the NFL came out, Adam Schefter reported on Friday or Saturday that the NFL, the officiating was under scrutiny for possibly the worst officiated game of the year between the Rams and the Seahawks. And if you notice, they cleaned up a lot of that during this NFL wildcard round. It was a lot. They cleaned up a lot. Okay? What do I mean by that? There were 5 egregious calls or no calls, either way you want to put it, in that Seahawks game. Seahawks-Rams, all right? Running into the kicker, not a thing. Gave them a first down when they were punting. The no taunting call on Quandre Diggs. The fact that the unsportsmanlike that was not called on DK Metcalf. The call on Jalen Ramsey to Geno Smith. And the intentional grounding that was not called on Geno Smith, all right? Had the Rams won that game, the Lions would have been facing the San Francisco 49ers. Do I think we would have won that game? I do not. I think we would have put up a much better fight. But what I believe, you might be saying, well, Derek, why do you say that the NFL wasn't ready? Because I believe that they are setting us up for long-term success. That's what I think. And they wanted us to fall back, and they want us to let these other storylines play out first, and then it's our time, right? Then it's our time. Because I have watched the NFL for a long time. I know that there's storylines. I know that it's things that they want to see, and they obviously did not want to see. But the NFL has been decent at hiding what they're trying to do. But this year, and as of years, I would say the last 5 years, the NFL does not care to hide what they're trying to do anymore. And what they're going to do is they're going to apologize for all they not there. And what they're going to do is they're going to put it on the poor officiating. These officials are not full-time employees of the NFL. They have regular jobs. They come in and they do this officiating. So the NFL will always have a scapegoat as long as they have temporary or part-time officials. They will always be able to put it on the officials. They will send you a nice letter saying, we're sorry, we missed this call. All right? So that's what's happening. So that told me that the Detroit Lions are going to have future success, not just one-hit wonders. We're going to be around for a while. Geno Smith, right? Possibly could win comeback player of the year. Nobody thought that not to say that they were the better story, but the NFL, and I start believing this when Roger Goodell was at our stadium at the beginning of last season, not the one that just passed, but the beginning of last season. I knew at that point that, you know what, the turnaround is coming. He had nothing but nice words to say about the Detroit Lions organization, about the Ford family and Ford and what our owner is, right? And so on and so forth. So, according to Adam Schefter, and this came out a few days ago, okay? Adam Schefter reported, which I thought was weird because Schefter sometimes is hit or miss, but came out that the Detroit Lions should be livid. This is what he had to say. Multiple executives and coaches said the NFL needs to reevaluate how it chooses to train its officiating staff for future seasons. See what I told you? They're going to put it on the coaching staff. Even the NFL's competition committee is aware of what one source described to ESPN as the worst officiated game of the year that kept the playoffs out the season. Kept the Detroit Lions out the season. One source told ESPN this week that the NFL must do a better job of screening, hiring, and training its officials. The league can't have games in which team seasons are on the line and have questionable and impactful calls such as the ones in the Rams-Seahawks game Week 18. Right? And we discussed the penalties that were called and the penalties that were not called. And the Seahawks barely won that game. Right? So the point that I'm trying to make is that the NFL is aware of this stuff. The NFL knows this stuff, and they're going to have the officiating to blame as a way to try to throw you off the scent. That's what they're going to try to do. Right? So how does that have to do with how does that make, it seems very bleak for the Detroit Lions, right? It affected the Detroit Lions. It essentially kept us out the playoffs. Right? And we still went out and kicked the Green Bay Packers' tail. Take that, Aaron Rodgers. But what I believe is going to happen is that the NFL knows that the Detroit Lions finally are serious. We are a small market team, but we have a very huge fan base. We have a very loyal fan base. And I believe that they have finally decided to prop us up. They finally decided to prop us up. And we're going to be around for years to come. That's what I truly believe. I believe we're going to win a Super Bowl in the next 7 years. I also believe that we are going to probably win. We're going to win the division and the playoff game in the same year. Two things we've never done. We've never won the NFC North, and we haven't won a playoff game in over 30 years. So I think that the NFL was intentionally holding us back because they know that we're going to be around for quite some time. So I know it might be a little on the outside the box, but I completely believe in storylines with the NFL. I do not think that that this stuff is not merely left up to chance. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Zay, what's up, man? Zay comes in. I just saw this before I got on, that Dan Campbell will be on the Manning cast today for I didn't even know they were doing that with the playoffs, but I guess they will. This is the last playoff game or the last Manning cast of the 2022 season. And how crazy is that our coach is going to be on? I'm sure it'll be all over the internet tomorrow, so I'll just wait and see it tomorrow. But that is going to be fantastic. Do you think the NFL will give us a primetime game in Detroit and not on the road? I do believe that. Calvin, I do believe. I think we get 4 or 5 next year. The NFL will not be able to ignore us. Think about what I'm saying, y'all, about the last segment. We were the only team in the National Football League in 2022 that did not have a primetime game. Think about what I'm telling you. There are 31 teams in the NFL. Why are we the only ones without a primetime game? Why are we the only ones without a primetime game? The NFL got something up their sleeve regarding the Detroit Lions, and it's going to be on the good side of all this. So, I don't know. Let me know what y'all think, man. Dan Campbell, we in a Manicast, absolutely. They wanted the Packers in the playoffs. But we stopped that. But I think they wanted Geno more because I didn't see a bunch of calls that could have gone the Packers' way. I need the Chiefs Sunday. You know what, Zay? I would prefer Monday Night Football, bro. I would prefer Monday Night Football because I do not want Sunday is real whack, bro. I don't know what it is. Monday is on cable. It's weird because Monday has the bigger audience, although you have to pay. Like, you have to have a cable, either a cable package or Wi-Fi or something to watch that game. So I would much rather – I've done these Sunday night games, and they are terrible. They are terrible, bro. So they won't put us on Thursday night, seeing as how we already have a Thursday game. So I believe they're going to avoid Thursdays. Hawks fans are mad at the refs for the San Fran game this past weekend. For what? O'Neal, for what? What are they mad for? They got their butts handed to them. What are they mad for? Nobody had them winning that game at all. At all. So let me see this. Okay, so this is a segment that we're going to do as well. I will be doing the game tonight as well on Gridiron. So if you guys are interested in that, this is going to be pretty solid. Oh, there's Stefanski. Stefanski's in this photo. Do you think they would do the cheap option and do Thursday Thanksgiving game at night like a 2-for-1? Oh, Calvin, they could do that. That's a good possibility. But we usually always play at 12:30, and then the Cowboys are always after us, and then it's just like a random team. So I think they'll do that. We will have a primetime game in London or Germany. You know what? It has been last time we went to London, we got beat by the Chiefs. That was Jim Caldwell's 7-9 year when we started the season, 1-7, somewhere around there, and then went on a run. I hope not either. Zay, because your boy ain't trying to get up for that. I'm gonna keep it a buck. But here's another segment. So the Detroit Lions draft is coming up. We have approximately about 10 weeks before the NFL draft, and I think it's gonna be here before you know it because we've got free agency that I think will be solid. I don't think that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are going to make too much noise. I think their first priority is to bring back a lot of guys like they did last year. We will lose a lot of guys as well. And I think that they're going to sign some mid-tier free agents this year. 1, maybe 2, maybe more. I do not think Jalen Ramsey is a part of any package, although Brad Holmes did spend a few years with Jalen. I don't think that is going to be the case. But the NFL draft will be here before you know it. And I'm looking through the internet, and I see an article on Fansided that I would like to talk about. Shout out to Fansided, one of my favorite sites when it comes to Detroit Lions content. And they have 3 combinations for the Detroit Lions 2023 first-round picks. Now, I believe this offseason is going to be tremendous as far as what we're going to do with the team and also the fan base, the excitement that we are going to have. And these are 3 combinations that the Detroit Lions could take with the first 2 or our first round picks in 2023. With the number 6 pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jalen Carter, defensive tackle, Georgia. That would be at number 6. Number 18. With the 18th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Joey Porter Jr., cornerback, Penn State. Now, I know a lot of y'all would like this. I think most Detroit Lions fans would love for this to be the case. Now, those are 2 guys on defense, which is our biggest needs. And I think, honestly, we know at secondary we're in trouble. Okudah is still on the team. He has 2 years left of his rookie deal. How much of a factor will he be? And if you pair him up with a guy like Joey Porter Jr., he could be decent. He could be decent, man. We definitely are going to need some help on the other side of him. And Jeff Okudah, don't forget, he was benched. He didn't play in the Green Bay game, as far as I remember. So he played very well at the beginning of the season and then fell off toward the end. He missed a couple games with injury. Dern says he won't be there unless there's a huge run on QBs and tackles, and that's what I think they're thinking. I actually saw something today that it could be top-heavy. What the Bears are going to do. We know the Texans are in there. We know the Seattle Seahawks are above us. The Indianapolis Colts are above the Rams, I believe. So there are a couple of teams that could use some quarterbacks, and it came out today that C.J. Stroud has declared for the draft. He had until today to do so. He did so. So that is another way, if he goes top 5, that the Detroit Lions could get Jalen Carter with that 6th pick. This is the second set of the 3 combinations that the Detroit Lions could use in the first round. With the 6th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Tyree Wilson, edge, Texas Tech. I can barely read this. With the 18th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame. Why? Why would we do that? That right there is absolutely dumb. Why in the world? We traded away a first-round tight end pick. Why would we draft another one? Who does this stuff? I don't understand. And then we take James Mitchell. Now, he's 6'4", 265 pounds. If the Detroit Lions take a tight end in the first round or anywhere in the top 3, in their top 5 picks, we are very top-heavy in the NFL draft this year. I will lose my mind, okay? Now, I think this might be some of y'all favorite. Now, the middle one is stupid to me, and that's going to be a giant negative. As a matter of fact, I'm going to let the bishop tell you. No. So the number 1 one is pretty solid. It's pretty solid, okay? The number 2 one is stupid. Now, this one, I think y'all might be some of the favorite. This might be the favorite one. Dern, don't get ahead of me. Don't get ahead of me, Dern. Don't get ahead of me, bro. With the 6th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select C.J. Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State. Now, I know a lot of y'all still want a quarterback. Y'all still want a quarterback, in the first round, somewhere in the draft. If the Detroit Lions do this, that tells me that they are not trying to keep Jared Goff past his contract. I know a lot of y'all gonna like this one. I, myself, do not like this. Right now, I'm with the first set. I don't like this at all because we need defense. We need defense. But if you're an offensive guy, you want a new quarterback. I know Dern is still very high on a quarterback. Then this is the draft for you. But this number 1 right here, I think y'all going to love this one. With the 18th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Bijan Robinson, running back, Texas. Now, I know if you're an offensive guy, there you go. You got a replacement for DeAndre Swift, and you have a replacement for Jared Goff right there. I will say this. I saw on Twitter over the weekend, somebody tweeted out, should the Detroit Lions look to trade DeAndre Swift? And none other than the sun god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown, comes in with one word, no. That was it. And I thought that was big. I thought that was very big, not to say that he's not going to support his teammate. But we've seen what it looks like if players don't believe in other players, right? St. Brown fully endorses DeAndre Swift. So I found that to be very curious, very intriguing, very telling that these guys believe in DeAndre. So let me know in the comments below, which of these sets would you prefer? You've got offense defense, which is the second set, which I think is stupid. You've got offense with C.J. Stroud at number 6 and Robinson at number 18. Or you have defense with Jalen Carter, if he somehow falls to number 6, and Joey Porter Jr. I myself would love the first set of Carter and Joey Porter Jr. because those are two positions of need, and they will help us on the side of the ball we need help the most. And I think that if the Detroit Lions try to go offense, and I think it's going to upset a lot of fans. I really do. Even if they split. We traded up for Jamison Williams last year. Our defense was ranked in the bottom of the league for most of the season. And even though they went on a little bit of a spurt at the end, it was not enough to get them out of the hole that they put themselves in for the first part of the season. So let me know in the comments below, which one of these would you prefer? Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Bijan, if Ben leaves, makes way more sense. Okay, why is that? I know it has something to do with golf, but why exactly? Lions Fan Express says, if Jalen Carter falls to the Lions at 6, you got to pull the trigger. I'm trading out of 6 if Carter, Anderson, and Murphy are gone. I'll die on Devin Witherspoon until the day of the draft, says Sam. What's up, Sam? The Lions trade down from pick 6. Y'all believe that? Y'all believe that he's going to trade down? Because, see, after watching 2 drafts with Brad Holmes, I don't think trading down in the early round is something he's going to do. I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he's going to do that. Trading up, yes. Trading down, I don't think he does that. We don't know what he's going to do. He's very deceptive, you know what I'm saying? Very intriguing, very, mysterious. But I don't think that he's going to trade down at all. I love to have a back that could take over a game, says Eduardo. If Ben Johnson leaves, I'll take the C.J. Stroud scenario, but if he stays, I'll take the corner at 6 and Bijan at 18. I don't think he's gone. He would take Brian Breesy at 6 before he trade down. I don't think that Johnson is gone. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think that, what is my man's name? Sean Payton. I think that Sean Payton right now is holding the majority of the league hostage. And I think if you are looking for a new coach, I think that's what the holdup is. So I don't think that Carolina is going to hire Ben Johnson. And the thing about Sean Payton is we already know that the Saints won a first-round pick. So what team that is in need of a coach is going to be willing to part with the first-round pick? That's number one. Then how long are these teams going to chase Sean Payton? Because right now the Saints have already decided that they're going to stick with Dennis Allen. They came out over the weekend and said that, so he's there. The Arizona Cardinals need the Cardinals, the Carolina Panthers, the Denver Broncos, and a handful of other teams. They need coaches. And I think the fact that Sean Payton is out there, and I saw today that he expressed something in Denver. It's Denver. It's another team. It's another team, like teams that aren't even have no head coaching positions are talking about Sean Payton. Holmes traded with Tennessee. Holmes trade with Tennessee, and they will take Will Levis. Huh. Okay. Could happen. Very well could happen. But they pick before the Lions, don't they? So would they have to trade up? Or you mean trade up to get set at 6 to get Will Levis? So y'all think Will Levis is going top 10? If he stays the QB in the second round, like the QB from Stanford. Who's the QB from Stanford? Who was the QB? And let me ask you this. So Stetson Bennett, did he declare for the draft? Because I know some people who wouldn't mind him. And I know today's the last day, right? And I don't know if he declared for the NFL draft. Did Marvin Harrison, did he declare as well? I have no idea. I need to be up on that stuff, man. I don't have those alerts. Tanner McKee is his name. Huh. I have no idea. So according to Pride of Detroit, Marvin Harrison in college for another year. No wonder I didn't hear anything. That would explain that. That would explain that. If the best D lineman is gone, I wouldn't mind double dipping at corner. We need the help. Eduardo, so you're saying 2 cornerbacks in the first round? That would be something. That would be something for sure to see that if we had 2 cornerbacks in the first round. Okay, Marvin can't declare yet. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I don't know what the Lions are going to do, and I think that is the kind of the biggest ideal. Wait a minute. Hold on. I want to make sure that this is not in here. Oh, Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. Okay. We gotta have a All right. We gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this. All right, Zay, I'm about to ruffle your feathers, bro, so be ready. It is that time of year where speculation runs amok, and we have had this conversation numerous times before. I'm getting a little sick of it, to tell you the truth, but that's okay. That's okay, because when you talk about something every day, all day, you're bound to get a little sick of some stuff. But I am sick to death of this conversation. And we've had it ad nauseum. I think it's stupid, but we're going to have it some more because I saw something today. Now, when I say this situation, you guys are going to instantly go. You instantly know where I was talking about. And so we're gonna do this, okay? Last night, a team played without their starting quarterback. That starting quarterback didn't even travel with the team. His name is Lamar Jackson. I like to call him Lamar Wilson. And yes, I am making fun of him.
Man, he's so crazy, better pick up the phone. Lamar Wilson.
And I am scouring the internet, and I see a guy by the name of Liam McConey. Don't know who this gentleman is, but he says 4 Lamar Jackson free agency destinations. Now, Lamar Jackson, as you know, he does not have a deal in place, and Baltimore came out earlier this morning on Monday the 16th that they are going to franchise tag him. Like, no hesitation. It's highly likely that he's franchise tagged. He, in my opinion, will not play on that franchise tag, okay? And therefore, he will demand a trade or he's not going to sign. And among 4 teams, the New York Jets, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Atlanta Falcons, according to Mr. Liam McConey, the Detroit Lions are on that list. Now, Lamar has liked a post, several posts from the Detroit Lions about him going to the Detroit Lions. He has said good things about our coach, Dan Campbell, and that leads a lot of people to speculate that Lamar Jackson wants to be a Detroit Lion. And according to Mr. Liam, here's what he had to say. Speaking of teams that are just a QB away, the Lions will be thrown around in all Lamar Jackson's discussions until the situation is resolved. Jared Goff played great football this year, but I love this when it comes to my quarterback, Jared Goff. There's always a but. Every single time, bro. Every time somebody talks about Jared Goff, there's a but. But Detroit can get out of his contract for only $10 million this offseason. And Jackson is obviously a huge upgrade from a talent perspective. The Lions have a lot of work to do defensively in order to be considered true contenders. The offense, though, is pretty much good and to go. And Jackson would thrive behind that offensive line with those skill position players. The primary reason Detroit wouldn't do this, okay, now he's talking with some sense, is that it doesn't really fit the ethos of what Dan Campbell has been building. I agree. And GM Brad Holmes is a huge golf guy. I also agree. If Jackson didn't pan out, there's a big risk that his contract would ruin everything good the Lions have done recently. And for this franchise, it's really hard to do things right on a consistent basis. So there will be hesitation to rock the boat. Still, they have to consider it because if Jackson did pan out, the sky is the limit. Hold on. Let me do this. I got it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I know Zay is a huge fan of this. I know he is. We have gotten in endless debates about Lamar Jackson and his ability to change the Detroit Lions. I just don't understand. I agree with the whole second paragraph. Everything he said in there, he doesn't fit with the ethos. Brad Holmes is a huge golf guy. The big risk at the big contract. This, if you want Lamar, that's fine. That's fine. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we would have a better chance of getting Jalen Ramsey if you wanted him over Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson will potentially be held hostage by the Baltimore Ravens. That's what they're going to do. He will then have to not play. He will then have to force them to trade him to a team that actually wants him. That's what's going to happen. You could see the Baltimore Ravens, how they have been missing his talent, and that's because you built the team around him. But he didn't have any receivers. That is also true. But whose fault is that? That's the Baltimore Ravens' fault. You traded away Hollywood Brown. You picked up Sammy Watkins. You cut Deshaun Jackson, even though he's 30-something years old. So whose fault is that? Okay. And now the Baltimore Ravens, who did not want to pay Lamar Jackson, who he did not risk playing injured for them, which I don't blame him either. Robert Griffin III can attest to why you shouldn't do that. And then they're going to hold him hostage with a franchise tag, most likely. I don't see Lamar Jackson playing another. And if they do sign him and give him a big deal, then what damage has already been done? The Ravens organization has shown that they don't care about you like that. They let you play without paying you. And guess what? You got hurt. But how does that back to the Detroit Lions? It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. Lamar Jackson is not going to be here. So I do agree with, I don't agree with the beginning. One quarterback away. Come on, man. Every time we mention Jared Goff, we always got to put a but. We always have to put a but in there. But what? The Detroit Lions had the fewest turnovers in the National Football League. Jared Goff was responsible. I'll give him 10. Jared Goff has had the most turnovers since 2019. But I guarantee you this. He did a lot to change that this year. He did a ton to change that this year. Because of his 7 interceptions and less fumbles, the Detroit Lions had the fewest turnovers in the league. A quarterback is responsible for a lot of that. So take the butt out of Jared Goff. When you're talking about Jared Goff, remove the butt. Sounds funny the more you say it. Remove the butt. A quarterback away. Did this guy see our defense? If you want Lamar Jackson and you say we're a quarterback away, we had Matthew Stafford and we still were not a quarterback away. For the first time since I've been watching the Detroit Lions, they are building this thing the right way. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals. For all that show they got over there, they don't have any offensive line. If Joe Burrow wasn't the quarterback that he is, they would be worse than they are. They built through the draft, and they still got to get that offensive line together. The Detroit Lions are not a quarterback away. They have the quarterback. Get that defense right. We are right on the offensive side of the ball. We might be able to use, depending on what happens with DeAndre Swift, a more dynamic running back who can stay healthy. DeAndre Swift is a G when he's healthy and when he got that confidence. But this Lamar Jackson thing, man, we got to stop with it. He is not coming. I don't care how many posts he like. The Detroit Lions ain't about to pay this man. So I just watch what your GM does. He does not do this stuff. Checkbook is tight. His checkbook is tight. He shops at the dollar store. He shops at Five Below. He doesn't shop at these places. And I'm not trying to rag on these guys. I love my team. I love Khalif Raymond. But he shops at Five Below. Dollar General. That's where he gets his guys from. Now, this year, he might go to Sears if it's still in business, to the clearance section. He's not going to bring these guys here. So let me know your thoughts, man. I know a lot of y'all want him, but he will not be a Detroit Lion. All you got to do is just follow what your GM does, and you can see it. Tate, what's up, Tate? Tate says, key defense is the key. How many in the chat want Lamar Jackson? Just give me a thumb up, thumb down. Give me a thumb up or thumb down if you want. Darren, I agree. We talked about that last week, man. That might have been a show that you missed. But we talked about that last week. We went over to free agency. Homes don't shop at Gucci. Bruh, you know where Home shop? You know where Home shop, the outlet store? That would have been a perfect. Y'all, if y'all live in Michigan, down 75, I think it's 75, Birch Run. Brad Holmes shops at Birch Run, bro. When people bring up Lamar injury prone, the issue is he is running the ball 6 to 8 times a game in Baltimore because they need him to do that. In Detroit, we don't have weapons. He wouldn't be running. I disagree. Lamar's strength is his running ability. I disagree completely. Maybe it's not a lot of read option, but it'll be some design runs for sure for Lamar. CIA yet by accident. I seen Holmes at Dollar Tree. $1. Oh, man. Would you take a chance on Bijan Robinson with our second first-round pick? We actually talked about that, ADHD. We talked about that there's one potential draft combination that they have us, and he's in there. He's in there. Goff can take us to the Super Bowl, but I really think the average defense with the running back can take over the game, will bring us over the hump. Yeah, Eduardo, and that's the problem. We don't have an average defense. We have a below average defense. If we had an average defense, to agree with you, we would have been in the playoffs. An average defense would have been in the playoffs. 100%. And that's why the Detroit Lions must focus on the defense. I'm not saying neglect the parts that you need. We might need somebody on the O-line because Vaitai he didn't even take a single snap this year. So that shows that we don't need this guy. We don't need Vaitai on this team, and he won't be. He will not be on this team. 100%. And I know that he clears up quite a bit of money, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're just now joining us, we talked about the NFL playoffs. We went over that scenario. We talked about Lamar Jackson coming to Detroit and how stupid that would be, in my opinion. We talked about, what else did we talk about? We talked about some draft potentials, some draft combinations in the first round. One on offense, one on defense, and one with one of each. And there we go. And we talked about the NFL and how they completely wanted us out the playoffs. But in my opinion, it's for the reasons, it's unlike the reasons they've been keeping us out. I believe that this is the last time for a long time that the NFL is going to ask the Detroit Lions to take a back seat. That's what they asked us to do. My prediction is we'll get 4 to 5 primetime games in the 2023 season. Schedule comes out in May. Our opponents are already out. We know this. We know who they are. We know who we have at home. I'm actually going to try to go. My goal is to save up enough money to go to at least 3 or 4 road games. I would like to go to Dallas. I would like to see at least, as a matter of fact, if I really had the money like that, I would try to go to every away game. Every time the Lions played away, I would try to go. Whether it's driving, because I have to go to Minnesota. Like, that is a goal of mine. Minnesota, we play the Dallas Cowboys. We play Arrowhead. Arrowhead next year is my #1 destination. If it was up to me, I would fly into L.A. I would go there to see them take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Every road game I would go to, 100%. And I definitely have to go to a home game as well because the crowd is going to be legit this year. Okay, Dern? Hey, fat bro, I would have loved if the Lions would have played Minnesota yesterday. That mess was, I was like, man, I would love to be in that stadium just to see the horn and all that stuff and be wearing my Honolulu blue. Like, come on, man. Let's go. You'll be at SoFi for the Charger game. You know, things are going to be a lot different this year. Patty, we don't play Vegas in Vegas. That's the situation. And I think the next time the LA Rams play us, Matthew Stafford will be here. So that's going to be a game that probably sells out completely fast. And I know a lot of y'all going to want to go to that game. They'll probably do a Matthew Stafford tribute and stuff. The Lions, I feel now, are definitely the kings of the North. We took out Aaron Rodgers and his Packers. You know what? You guys are fantastic. You really are, man. This will be our last segment of the day, man. Time goes fast when you're having fun. Before we do that, though, I do want to kind of keep y'all posted as to what's going on. First of all, subscribe to the channel. I keep forgetting to say that as I start my video segments. We are about 100 away from 2,000 subscribers. This channel just became 3 months old in January. January 11th, we hit the 3-month anniversary, and we're pushing 2,000 subscribers. Hopefully this week, Syndicate Sports Detroit XL will hit 200. My goal over there is to be monetized by free agency, so we have exactly 2 months to do that. And this is what I wanted to tell you, is that I've been investigating a studio setup. So my January AdSense, which is this month, is going to go to that studio setup. I have looked at overhead lighting, but done my research on that, a new desk, a TV stand, because I want to have like a TV on the side of me and be able to cut in and out, to a wide shot where you guys see the TV, and then cut to and stuff like that. I'm very excited about it. It will be my off-season project. I am 100% excited about it. So I just wanted to say that. Okay, so Zoe, I'm glad that you in here, bro. I'm glad that you in here because I'm about to destroy you. So it's all with love, though, because Zoe been representing, and he got the audacity to put the smiley faces in the chat when his team got bounced out yesterday. Here we go. The Detroit Lions were, unfortunately, on their couches this weekend as wild card weekend passed. And one of the teams that we had to watch was division rival, the Minnesota Vikings. We had to watch them at home blow it against the 6th seed New York Giants. Now, in the chat today, we're talking about the future of the Detroit Lions and what we believe to be our soon domination of the NFC North. The Vikings, I've said this to you during the season, that I honestly believe they are one-hit wonders. And Aaron Rodgers is a drama king. Will he come back? Won't he come back? Right? So the question that I have for you as Detroit Lions fans is based on the showing that you saw from Minnesota this weekend in wild card round, and the fact that the Detroit Lions were 5-1 in the NFC North in 2022, with our one lone loss coming because of Dan Campbell against the Minnesota Vikings in Week 3. How confident are you that the Detroit Lions can win the NFC North, not only next year, but for years to come? The Minnesota Vikings, and this is coming from a Detroit Lions fan. I'm not trying to rip on the Minnesota Vikings. I could, because some of the fan base is horrendous. I wanted to troll them last night, but I was just too tired. I have been streaming all day. I'm tired. But, it's going to be the offseason almost here, so I got time. But the Minnesota Vikings, to me, okay, we've called them frauds. We've called them overrated. And I personally have called Kirk Cousins trash. And I think yesterday he showed you can give me Jared Goff any day of the week, because Kirk Cousins on a 4th down and 8 decides to throw to T.J. Hockenson 5 yards short of the 1st down. But you might be saying, well, Derek, he was wide open. Maybe that's why he threw it to him. No, he wasn't. He had a defender all over him. T.J. Hockenson would have had to get the 1st down on his own because he was 5 yards short. The Minnesota Vikings are in trouble. They have an aging defense. Patrick Peterson is old. He is not. He is also a free agent. Zadarius Smith, for as good as he is, he's aging as well. You could see Kendricks was getting outrun yesterday. I don't think the Chicago Bears are going to be a threat. They've got to build their team. Their team is in shambles. They have no wide receivers. They got rid of Robert Quinn. They got rid of Roquan Smith, who just signed a colossal deal. But they are going to get a defender coming up. And when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, nobody knows what you're going to do over there. Nobody knows who you got over there. Aaron Rodgers, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? I don't care. I'm not going to hold the Green Bay Packers hostage. Oh, wait, but I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take my time and decide. It's not about the money. I'm owed $50 million. $50 million. So Detroit, for the first time ever, is the most stable team in the NFC North. Kirk Cousins, for everything he is, the Minnesota Vikings, why would you guarantee him hundreds of millions of dollars? I'm going to take one from Pat McAfee. Millions and millions. I'm going to take one from him. Why would you? I don't understand. So my question, it ain't about the Minnesota Vikings. It ain't about Chicago Bears. It ain't about the Green Bay Packers. It's about the Detroit Lions, or as I like to call them, the Detroit Lions. How confident are you that the Detroit Lions' time in the North is coming? How confident are you that the Detroit Lions are going? Because I'm very confident. I'm very confident. Not overly confident like Minnesota Vikings fans, some of y'all. Not overly confident, but confident. Because for the first time, we are actually building the team the right way. For all that stuff I gave Brad Holmes last year about re-signing the guys, I see it now. I see it now. These guys were the right decisions. Now, I'm not saying that we run through the North. We did pretty well in our division this year. And you play to win the game. Each year is different. Nothing is guaranteed. But I'm feeling pretty good about the Detroit Lions. We're stable at quarterback. Some of y'all want to shake us up, but we stable. Relax. Let us build this defense. We got to re-sign Jamal. We got to make sure Swift balls out in a contract year. We got to figure out what is happening with Jeff Okudah. We got to get some people in that secondary. And we got to get some people at the linebacker position. Did y'all see Jared Davis getting cooked yesterday? It was so funny. I'm sorry. I had to get off. I got sidetracked. Jared Davis was getting shaked. Ricky Bobby yesterday, but his team still won. His team still won. So, between the draft and speaking of Minnesota, apparently the TJ Hawkinson trade is now going to be that fourth-round pick. I thought they had 2 years to win a playoff game, but apparently they don't. It will be a fourth-round pick. So maybe that the stigma was it had to be this year. So I truly believe that for the first time in years, decades, because this team is building the right way, because I trust the ownership, because I trust the leadership, because I trust the quarterback, that the Detroit Lions, in my opinion, non-biased, is they're in the best position to win the NFC, but not only next year, but for years to come. 100%. Goff plays a game that doesn't get him injured either, allowing a mobile, strong arm QB for the defense to practice on without worrying about Goff. That's a good point, and I think that they had to put Khalif Raymond back there at quarterback to mimic a running quarterback. Lions aging defense, Bears stinking, Packers are mid without Tay. Oh, Devontae? Yeah. And I think they're going to be mid with their quarterback. I think it's time. Aaron Rodgers is too much of a distraction. He's too much of a distraction. It's time for them to move on. Only thing that has me not confident is seeing that DC has been a slow starter. If we start no worse than 4-4, I'll be very confident. Well, Eduardo, that's a good question. The New York Giants picked up Jared Davis. They came and took him off our practice squad. That's a very good thought. Very good thought. And I would love to be 4-4. Just think, when we played the Buffalo Bills, we were 4-6. We had a chance to go. And by the way, they haven't lost since. But we gave them a run for their money, and they have not lost since. I think they were 7-3 when they played us, and we were 4-6. But that's something that's going to haunt us all year. But I think because of that, because of the fact that we were almost there, I think that that's going to help us next year. I will say this as we wrap the segment and the show up, that the Detroit Lions winning the NFC North in 2023 would be a sight to behold. That would guarantee us a home playoff game. Ford Field has never seen a home playoff game in its 21 years of existence. The Detroit Lions have never won the NFC North in its 21 years of existence. The last time we won anything, Barry Sanders was still on this team. Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford never saw a home playoff game or a division title with the NFC North. And it hurts my soul that those two men did not get to experience that here in this city. So the Detroit Lions are, in my position, in my opinion, non-biased, just based off what I see, are in the most stable spot in the NFC North. And that should equal substantial, sustained success. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Man, I'm telling you what, man. Wait a minute. What is this? Oh, this is when they hire. Why is this on my screen? Hold on. What is this? Wow. For some reason, on my web browser, Dan Campbell's introductory press conference is pulled up. That is insane. That's crazy. Hey, but real talk, man. I love the fans of all teams, man. And I appreciate y'all being respectful. I think we can get at each other. I think he's going to come back. Hatters, I think he likes the drama. Why would he not come back? $50 million. He going to come back. He's going to come back. But listen, man, I appreciate y'all. I got to make a video on Detroit Lions Syndicate because it's been a minute. But again, y'all, I got to say how much I appreciate y'all. Y'all going to be hearing that a lot from me lately, probably for a long time. And I want to just show my appreciation for the people in the chat, the people that have supported me and David and Nick and what I'm trying to do. And I'll say this, man. You go through, I believe that things happen the way they're supposed to. So when you go through bumps in life and when you go through ups and downs, they teach you, right? And Dan Campbell said something. He said it's not failure if you learn from it. And we'll see what he does next year. But it's you have to go through the bad to get to the good. You know what I'm saying? So, and sometimes the good, what you went through will allow you to do the things that you're doing. Right? So I'll just give you a brief kind of story. The job that I had while I was married to my first wife, very intense. It was very labor intense. It kept me away. People like to call it a good job, and it was. If you're looking at the money, the benefits, it was a good job, right? But what it would have had is me being away from my son. It would have had, and when we eventually wind up divorcing, that job would have kept me away from my child because the job was so demanding. There would have been no way that I could be the father that I want to be, the father he needs me to be with that job. So I got sick in 2013 and had to find a new one. And that road has sent me to where I am today. Without that road, I'm not here in front of you. I'm not doing YouTube like I'm doing. I was criticized for wanting to make money off YouTube. It's not making money off YouTube that I want. I want to do something I enjoy. I would love to do it for a living. I'm not there yet. I'm not even close, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. And when I get there, I want to bring you the best content possible. As the journey is happening, I want to be the guy. I want the guys that's with me to be the guys as well. And I just had to say that to y'all because it means a lot that y'all support me and my ventures the way that you do. So there's not a ton of money in this. There's not, there can be, but sports has a very low kind of CPM and very complicated stuff that y'all don't really care to know about. But I do this because I enjoy it. I do this because one day I was sitting on my couch and the Lions were losing to the Cincinnati Bengals in 2017. We were eliminated from playoff contention, and I sat there and I felt alone. I was like, there's got to be somebody to talk to about this, right? There's got to be. And that's kind of where it started. YouTube started for me as an outlet. And from that point, and the reason I mentioned what I mentioned is because sometimes you don't know what's on the other side of your adversity. You don't know what change in your life. It's true what they say. One door closes, another one opens. Without that, I'm not able to be here for my son. I'm not able to, like I want to be. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many of y'all had the dad that was always at work. And when he came home, you kind of felt like you ain't know him. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to know your dad or mom or whoever it was. And I am able to be there for my son in part because of the things I went through that set up where I am right now. So I know I got all serious on y'all today, and I didn't mean to. It just, as I'm sitting here talking about it, I'm sitting in my basement doing the show and thinking about the studio setup that I want and that I will. And I will say this, y'all, and I say this with straight up like confidence. When I do this YouTube thing, man, everything I touch turns to gold. And I don't say that as braggadocious. I say that as I am driven, bro. I am driven to succeed. I am not going to let anything stop me from doing what I want to do. And if you ride with me and if you decide to, join the team or whatever you decide, I'm going to make sure you get there too. Listen, I'll leave y'all with this. Everybody knows this. My birth father is not in my life. My adopted father is not in my life by choice. My son will not know who his grandfather is. That's not information. That is a secret. I have shared that many times. And, yeah. So I work as hard as I can. Anyway, appreciate y'all, man. I really do. People will try to stop you and get in your way. And you can't let them. You cannot let them. But anyway, appreciate y'all, man. I will see you tomorrow.
Off the neighbors, whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on the feet. Yeah, you don't know about the day, you don't know about the streets. Cause when you're in the motor city, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the day, you don't know about the streets. Cause when you're in the motor city, everything ain't pretty but it's love though. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on our feet. Yeah.